Hello, this is Ron Brown. I have another add-on for you to install if you want to keep up with my latest work. And the file is either attached to an email or there is a download link, depending upon when you get this. My subscribers to the morning report and also to the roundtable will receive an attachment because they get the files first. But if you're downloading these files from the web page, the add-ons page a little bit later, there will be a link for you to download. Well, once you get that file, all you have to do is, first of all, you do not open that file. You don't unzip it. You leave it intact. And you go to your Preferences menu. You go down to the Install Add-ons link. Right there, after you've saved your file to your hard disk, you select Install Add-ons, and what it's going to do, it's going to locate your downloaded file. Now I am going to reinstall this, so I will just select the zip file. It's dated 2016-02-22, and that's all there is to it. You will get this information, or this window I should say. New system files are available to upgrade your current views, etc. Just click on yes. Now notice this time that it's rebuilding some groups. That's because I've updated the Woodward and Brown user groups, and I'll point that out to you here in a second. But it's reloading or loading the updated groups. So it'll take a little bit of time. If you're not on an SSD drive, just a regular hard drive, it'll take a little bit longer. Anyway, the import is complete. I'm going to go through some of the things that I've added to this release. If you go into your designer, you will find that there are two W&B user groups. The first one is dated 15/02/10/24. That was last October. I have updated the groups, and this group is 16/02/22 full. So you don't need both of those. You want to highlight the old group, go up here to your X, and delete it. Just make sure that only the designer is open, because these groups will delete faster. Now this is what I've done with the user groups. I have updated a few things here. I've updated all of the institutional groups because stocks come and go. They move up and down between large, mid, and small cap depending upon their market capitalization. So that's been updated. I have updated the top 100 stock holdings in the ETF components, and also the top 100 stock holdings in the major market indexes. These are highly liquid stocks that institutions trade, and you will also find them in your broad market indices folder. I have also updated the industry groups. A few groups have come and gone, so that's current now. And one of the other things I did, I added a weekly options folder. You can see that my weekly options folder is outside of this list, but I decided to go ahead and add that for those of you who like to look for liquid stocks that also trade weekly options. So those are now included in the Woodward and Brown user groups. I've moved over to the warehouse views, and I want to point out that this is the folder which is installed with this add-on. It's intraday. This is an intraday update, and notice the date 2016-02-24. I updated this after I updated my user groups, just a few days, but they're close. This folder I no longer need because I have the latest one here. So to avoid confusion, what I'm going to do is go up here. You can see that I'm going to the Choose Create Warehouse Views. I'll click on that, and I want to locate the intraday that does not have a date on it. I will delete that folder, and this leaves me with the intraday with the date. Now I'll close this, and you can see that that other intraday disappeared from my quick pick menu. Next, I'm going to go into the charts and go through the same process. I will click on the Choose Create View icon, and I will open this, and I need to locate the intraday folder that is not dated. I will delete that, and then I will close, and let's look at the quick pick, and you can see that the intraday folder is gone. You don't have to do anything else. Just delete those. The filters and the combos are all linked in the warehouse, so there's nothing to maintain there. I am only dating the charts folder or the charts views, I should say, and the warehouse views. Now let's go back over to the warehouse, and I'll show you the primary things that I have added. There is a new folder. It's called Intraday Scans. This scan is to locate stocks intraday that are trading within 20% of their 52-week high. These should be or are some of the leading stocks, and I'm going to sort on the raw combo. You can see that they were updated at 9:51 a.m. Subtract 15 minutes from that, and that is the time of the update. Now, I have mentioned in my daily report several times during the last few weeks that airlines have been strong, and once again we're seeing that Southwest Airlines is up. Yesterday, First Solar came up in this intraday search. It's up another 1.1%. Today you can see that the volume is running above normal. Housing stocks were good yesterday, but also the precious metal and mining stocks have been strong, and Lam Research is showing up today. Now I want to point out that these stocks must have a relative strength rank of 50 or above. When I go to the next view, I named this Intraday Bullish Today Weaker Stocks and Groups Up Today. The requirement for this group is that the relative strength has to be below 50. But you can see that all of these stocks are up today. So this is an opportunity to locate stocks that are on the move, which have been relatively weak based upon relative strength. Now the combo is the demand intraday combo on both of these, intraday, end of day, and it's essentially like my demand supply combo, or the demand combo, which is also the stocks and groups moving up. Anyway, these are strong stocks intraday. You can see that this one's up 17.51% today, and this is one of the charts that I added to this release. You will find this chart both in the favorite intraday charts folder. There's this one, and also if you go down to the intraday charts, you will find this at number 11. The reason I put this chart together is that I wanted to be able to see both end of day information in this column over here, and I can see that this stock was trading above normal volume at the end of the day. Here's a percent close from the 52-week high, the low, beginning of the year, the range where it closed yesterday, 88.30. It had a VPA signal yesterday, and that would have been this signal here. This is live today, and you can see that it is following through. And the intraday one-day change on this stock, Team Health Holdings, is 17.51%. It's 15 minutes ago it was trading at 95% of its daily range. It gapped up 9%. The change from the high divided by the low is 8.11%. That would be this low and this high. That is an 8.11% move. The percent change from the last open is 7.79%. That would be the last price divided by the opening price for the day. And here's the volume. See, volume's running extremely high. And then the other information, the time and so on. But look at these pocket pivots. We had 3 pocket pivots in a row. Back here we had 2 pocket pivots and then a down pocket pivot. And look where this estimated volume is running today. These are the projections for the day. It's early in the morning. As you can see, it's 9:13 a.m. But this is a way where you can get a handle or locate some of these stocks that are moving, which have been beaten down stocks. Obviously, this is a beaten down stock. Notice how the group has started moving up. And by the way, let's just take a quick look at this. This is a healthcare stock, and their earnings are out of the way. Heavy volume coming into it, some news-related item. So that's the purpose of these 2 intraday views. These are the leaders, and these are stocks that are not leaders but are coming up. And this is primarily based upon where they fall with the relative strength. Another thing you can do is you can sort on the groups, and you can see that there are a lot of institutional brokerage stocks that are in this group today. Well, that's not very impressive, is it? But it will help you locate some of these stocks which are potential trades going forward. You can also see over here in this column the day since there was a VPA signal. 0 means that they crossed over yesterday. So you can see that some of these are following through on these signals yesterday, or they're all following through if it was a bullish signal. Now, this just updated, and the number of stocks decreased significantly. That's because the market has reversed from a strong open to a relatively weak or flat. It's flat for the day now. It's starting to come back, but the indexes are all over the place. As the market strengthens, this list of stocks will get larger. Maybe not so much with this other one, because that's pretty selective. They have to be within 20% of their 52-week high. So I have not seen a lot of change in this group, but this list will lengthen as the markets strengthen, and it'll get smaller as the markets weaken. I'm not going to go into depth anymore on this. I'm considering doing a VPA series of webinars, and that's where I will really get into depth on some of these views that I'm coming up with. If I do that, of course, I'll have to charge for it, because it's going to take a lot of time and effort to do it. But that's something that I'm considering. Okay, let's move on. I've told you about the groups. I've told you about the 2 warehouse views that I have added. I showed you the primary chart that I added. It's this one right here. I like these columns being side by side, and this is in a good spot. If you need to move these, it can be moved, but I think it's pretty much out of the way over in the lower left-hand corner. The next thing I want to show you is a slice. Matt and George made it possible for me to update slices with these add-ons also. So a slice that I added, if you select Load Custom Slices, it will take you to your user folders, and you have to be inside the W&B folder, and you will find these slices. Now the one I've added is number 21. if you install this properly, and there should be no question about that if you follow the process or the procedure, and you open this up, what this tells me, and I'm applying it to this warehouse view here with 43 securities, this tells me the stocks that have changed, the percentage change, the high divided by the low. 5 of these stocks are up over 10% for the day. So if I scroll down here to the bottom, this tells me that these are up greater than 10% from the, well, let me just bring up a chart. It's easier to explain it. And I'll move this out of the way temporarily. The intraday change, the high divided by the low on this one is 18%, which is well above the 10%. So this snapshot, and I could look here on the warehouse view, but if I want to quickly see it with a snapshot, I can see how many of these stocks have had a huge move, percentage move for the day from the low to the high. These are in the greater than 5 but less than 10% range, and these are less than 5%. So the greatest emphasis on demand is in this slice right here. I'm going to close this. And that same information is right here in this column. These are the stocks which had at least a 10% move from the low to the high. It may not look as impressive on some of these charts, but when you start looking at that number, that's a big number. So that's the only slice that I added, and I pretty much added it for this view right here, just to get a quick read. If you'd prefer just to use the warehouse, fine, but I like to look at it graphically just to see what percentage of these stocks have had a big move from the low to the high. And I've added a couple other things to this release. I'm going to go back to my volume price analysis, and I'm going to go down to the number 12 folder. This is not new. You already have these, but I'm going to select view number 1. This is accumulation acceleration, C up to B or A. This is was the subject of the Insider Club Roundtable the other day. You can see there are 736 securities past this. I'm coming in here, and then I'm going directly to the designer. And I'll give you a quick demonstration of this. I'm going to click on the group inclusion report, and I will clear everything. I'm going to load a selection. Now, a couple of new group inclusion reports have been added. I haven't done much with the ETF one yet, but this one I am looking for box stocks and use with the accumulation acceleration filter. So I'm going to open that. It selects all the industry groups plus some other views in here, primarily box stocks, and then I am selecting stocks and groups moving to the upside. To use this filter, you have to select Use Applied Filter, and you can put a minimum number of groups that a security must appear in. So I'm just going to make sure that this is selected. I went to the warehouse view first because I wanted to make sure that this filter is active, and the minimum number of securities is in a group. I'm going to just put 3 in here and make a group from the report. I have to go up to my user group, and I'll just call this accumulation acceleration, and the date yesterday, this is the 25th, so that would be 2016-0224. And 50 is a lot of stocks, so I'm just going to do 25. I use 50 in the top 50 GIR. It's standard for me, but this time as a demo, I'm just going to use 25. So I will click on that, select the GIR, and it's going to come up in my other window. I have to move it over here. And let's take a look at this. You can see that these are all box stocks, every one of these. And this one also is included in stocks and groups moving to the upside. That's EFOI, Energy Focus. Here's Calm means food, stocks and groups moving to the upside. But every one of these are box stocks. If you are interested in stocks with having consistent earnings growth, that's why I put this in here. But I also wanted these stocks to be showing accumulation and as a bonus in the stocks and groups moving to the upside. Let's just go take a look at a few of these before I end the video. And here it is right here. And notice that I'm already in this view because I went directly from the view to the designer. Now some of these are following through today. The indexes have turned decidedly negative. The NASDAQ futures are down 20 points. So some of these stocks are not following through, but I can clearly see which ones are following through. Note that they've met all of the requirements for accumulation. That was as of yesterday's close. Now look at Domino's Pizza. This thing is continuing, and it's a stock that's been coming up under restaurants in the top 50 GIR, and the stocks and groups moving up. Look at it today. 225 it reported earnings today. But the expectation had to be for strong earnings, because look how this stock has moved. Couple of pocket pivots here, effort to rise signal here. Here it was changing hands. You can see that there is a tweezer bottom here, and this stock took off. Earnings are a crapshoot. You don't know which way they're going to go, but obviously there was buying in this stock before earnings came out. Now let's move over to that accumulation chart. And to do that, I'm going to go down to my volume price analysis. Here's my accumulation chart. And it started showing accumulation on the day where there was an effort to rise signal. There was more accumulation back here, if you see these bars right here, and then it sold off, and it sold off pretty hard. It didn't start getting accumulation signals, but let's look for some of the other signals, such as the force indexes. So both the force 2 and 13 turned positive here. The force 2 turned positive clear back here. You have to look at multiple things, not just VPA signals. But I believe this was in the stocks and groups moving up back on these days. I'd have to go look. But that's subject for a different time. Okay, so let's take a look at Energy Focus. And I need to go back to my accumulation chart. And you can see that it was showing accumulation back on this. I'm going to zoom in so we can see this a little bit better. On this day right here. Actually, was it? No, this was the first day. but it was trading at 9.5, so it passed the accumulation signals on that day. It was C accumulation. It went from D distribution to C accumulation, and it shows an accumulation bar in that day, and it's up sharply from that point. And one more, Weibo Corp. This one is showing accumulation yesterday. It's pulled back a little bit today. Let's take a look at this. The earnings are due on March 2nd, so they're upcoming yet. You can see it's had a couple of tests for supply, but it's under pressure from the market right now, although the volume is very light. One more. I was only going to look at that one. Here's a good example of a stock that has shown accumulation multiple times, dating clear back here when this was a red candle because the trend was down. All of the best fit trends or the VPA trends were down, and then they started shifting, but here was an accumulation, 2 accumulation bars back to back, another one here, another one here, another 2 more here, 2 more here, and a couple more here. So another example of a great tool that we have in HGSI, and this was just recently. You should have all of these updates. That was my prior update, and now we have the intraday update. Thank you for listening, and like I said earlier, I'm considering doing strictly a VPA webinar, and I'll let you know how that develops. If you have any problems, please let me know. The process is seamless. It should install properly. And by the way, if you have any problems locating any of the directories, go to the website and look at the tips and tricks. I think it's video number 3 on how to locate the GIR and slices directory, and I will put that link in the email that I'm sending out.